Alright YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at this. This is the NeuTab 10-inch high-resolution N10 Plus. Kind of confusing. On the back, it is a 4.4 Jelly Bean 10-inch Android tablet. It's 10.1 inches. The resolution is a measly 1024 by 600, though they call it an HD display. So it's a little less than a 720p display. It's a quad-core CPU, but they advertise it online as octa-core. It has 1 or 2 gigs of RAM. That's what it says on the back. Not sure what it'll have. Online, it says the same thing. It says it has 2 gigs of RAM some places. It says it has 1 gig of RAM other places. 16 gigs of onboard storage, but with the operating system, it'll probably be a little bit less, but still respectable. I mean, the Samsung Tab 4, their brand new tablet, has a lousy 8 gigs of storage, and it has even less than that when the operating system's installed. So this is definitely a better deal, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Dual cameras, everybody does. Wi-Fi, everybody's got Wi-Fi. HDMI, not every tablet has HDMI. And then a G sensor, which is more commonly known as an accelerometer. So it's $90, and it's a 10-inch tablet. That's hard to do as it is, but it's also advertised as octa-core, which not too many tablets out there are. And if you spend, $700 on an iPad, you could buy, more than, you could buy 7 or 8 of these for, the price of an iPad, or even the Galaxy tablets that are $300. You could buy 3 of these, especially if it's for a kid. 10-inch tablets are kind of the way to go. 7-inch tablets very small nowadays. So let's take a look at this. $90. It's hard to beat. And here we've got a micro USB cable. And I assume this is for file transferring, not charging. So you've got your USB 2.0 end here and your micro USB end here. And if you're an Android user, this is normally the cable that you use to charge your device with. Here's the tablet. We're going to put that aside for a second. We'll go over what else is in the box. Got in the bottom here a charger. Very lame looking charger, but for $100, what do you expect? It is 5 volt and 2 amp. So you definitely want to use this over that other cable that they provide. Very, very small power charger there, but it's very standard stuff, especially for a non-name brand company like NeuTab. This, on the other hand, blows my mind. How come a $700 iPad or a $500 Microsoft Surface or a $300 Galaxy tablet doesn't come with a screen protector? How can this $90 tablet come with a screen protector? That's big points in my book for including that, especially because they didn't advertise that they included that. This is a getting started guide, so if this is your first tablet ever, they've got all their support information, which is really good, and they put all their names and numbers out there, unlike some other companies. Like if you have a problem with your Microsoft tablet, not exactly easy to get a hold of Microsoft tech support or Apple's tech support or other people like that to actually diagnose this tablet. But a smaller company like this, easier to get a hold of. They obviously have a couple less employees. So it actually tells you all of the apps that are installed, how to use the interface, how to connect to the internet, all that stuff. So if you buy this for grandma or something like that, she's never touched a tablet in her life, that will get her started. They've got a reward card in here. It says you can earn a protective case when you submit your product review. That's kind of awesome. So you go online, you sign in with your Amazon, you go to the order, you write a review, and then you email them that you've written a review and a link to that, and they'll send you a free case. Another thing that blows my mind, how come people don't do this? Other companies, yes, I'll give you a review. It's a win-win. You give me some cheap case, whatever, I don't care if it's nice or not, it's free, and you get a nice review on your product. It's awesome. Next, we've got, do you want to make your tablet run faster? Download the Advanced Task Killer app, which will help it run faster by killing tasks. And it'll also make your battery last longer. So that's cool that they give you that little tip. And then here's all their tech support information if you're struggling to get things going. Next, happy? Question mark with a little sunshine. Oh, not happy. Rain. Anyway, they've got their contact card here. And then same instructions. How to redeem your free protective case. So that's that. Let's get into the tablet. Very hard to beat this price point. I did take the screen protector off because I had to shoot this like 9 times because my microphone wasn't working and a whole bunch of other stuff. This is like take 6, I think. On the back, it's pretty simple. You've got NeuTab, you know, a little serial sticker. I think you could probably peel off. But this is inked on there. Got your speaker over there. We've got some ports and a camera and a little card slot down there, which we'll go over in a second. It kind of has a pleather, leathery plastic back to that, which copycats right off of the Google Chromebook 2 from Samsung. You kind of see this little stitching here along the side. I think that's a very nice touch. Goes all the way around the tablet and gives it that leather-bound book look. On the side here, we have a spot for a TF card, and if you live in the United States, this is more commonly known as an SD card. These take micro SD cards. You've got your rear-facing camera and the flash that goes with it, and then you've got all the labels like power and IR and HDMI, not HDMI, but headphone, micro USB, HDMI, power, a back button, and then microphone. And then all of your ports are here on the side for that. So our power button, the IR blaster, headphone port, micro USB. They give you that little cable for it, so for file transferring. And then this is mini HDMI. This is not full size. If you want to connect this to your TV or computer monitor or something like that, you'll need a mini HDMI cable. Then you've got power, which is the little brick that they gave you. This has a actual back button on it, and we'll get into that in a second. And then the microphone. So I'm going to actually power this off completely, and then we will kind of go over what your experience will be like. It powers off pretty quick when you turn yours on for the first time. Okay, new tab. Gives a little start noise there, and it says octa-core, but it advertised it as quad-core on the box, but it advertised it as octa-core online. So it just kind of repeats that, and then boom, we're on. This is the Android 5.0 background, but it does not run Android 5.0. Get a little swipe to start there, and it's kind of overemphasized by the dark background that I have here and the awkward lighting, but the screen viewing is kind of odd. It's a little washed out. It's not viewable at a ton of angles because this is not an IPS screen. It's not brand new. Now from my end, it doesn't look bad. It looks good even from a sharp angle like this. From outside the camera kind of sees it as washed out, but it looks better than that just because of my awkward lighting. But it's very snappy and it's very thin. Look how thin this thing is. For example, here's my Note 4. It's in a case, very, very thin case, the Samsung manufacturer case. But look at that. It's about as thin as a smartphone. I'd say pretty close to the thickness of an iPhone 5S. So very, very thick. Some of those, off-brand tablets that you get for, 50 or $100, they're thick and they're gross and they're just a pain. Oh, I already fell asleep on me. So it's pretty snappy through the UI. It's kind of hard using this through the camera. Starts up pretty quick, opens the app launcher. Another thing that I like about this, doesn't install a lot of bloatware. On Apple, for example, you can't remove all the applications that they give you. Like the Apple Watch app that nobody uses because they don't want to spend money on an Apple Watch. Or Samsung, for example. You can't always remove every Samsung app. Like their stupid, Samsung App Store that nobody uses. Or other things like that. This doesn't really have any bloatware on it. It does have this little 4K icon right here, which is odd because it's not a 4K screen. and it actually plays it in the screen there. This is an old Super Bowl commercial, actually, which is funny that they include this. The speaker is actually pretty impressive on this, but the buttons down here, these are normal. Open your task manager, so you can get rid of old apps. Your home button, which will always take you home, and you've got your back button. It's not like it's not responsive when I'm doing this. It's just I'm not touching the tablet because I'm looking at it through the camera. But over here, you've got your volume minus and volume up. So there's all these buttons over here and ports, but no volume buttons. So keep that in mind, that if you're inside an app or something like that, you might have to swipe up from the bottom to access your touch volume controls. So I'll mark that as a con for me. But it does have a back button, which is kind of nice. So if I go into the camera, for example, kind of take a look at us. The camera's definitely not impressive, and it has a massive zoom on it. Right now, I'm probably, you can kind of point it at the camera that we're looking at. It looks like I'm right up on the camera, but I'm actually like 3 feet away from the camera right now, so it's very, very zoomed. But over here is the back button on the side. I'll take you back, rather than having to, pull up the touch controls. Pretty fast on the screen rotate. Granted, this is a brand new tablet, but no bloatware that they install. But they do install some things like that advanced task killer that was already installed when I got this. It has a FAQ section if you get confused. It's got Skype already installed for grandma. It has BBC iPlayer if you use that. It has Netflix. Everybody uses Netflix. That's already installed. You don't have to go online and, find all these apps and download them. It has a file browser already downloaded. It's got YouTube, which I think already comes on. It's got WhatsApp if you use that for your text messaging client. It's already installed. I didn't go out and install these. And it's got little quick links to the Google Play Store. And it has a full version of the Google Play Store on here, pre-installed. Some of these Android tablets that you get nowadays do not have Google Play Store installed. They might have their own proprietary Play Store, which is some, Chinese knockoff version because it's a Chinese knockoff tablet. And this probably is too, but full versions of that stuff. So it's a plus in my book on the design. It's good. I like the, little touches like the pleather looking back. All the ports on the side are very, very common. I like expandable storage. Can't always do that on tablets. The cameras are not impressive, but how many people use your tablets for that kind of stuff anyway? If you want to Skype on it, it'll do, but it's definitely not impressive. And it has an awkward zoom on it. If I start the thing, we're really, really close to it, and that's not even zoomed. It's zoomed all the way out already. So, but the tablet's octa-core. It is very fast. I can't really complain about any of that stuff. So over here on the right will be your notifications panel. On the left here is your... this is actually notifications. This is settings and other things like that. So you can see how much battery you have, which, by the way, I've just turned this on like minutes ago. It's already got 93% battery. So it comes basically fully charged. But we'll go into the settings and see what we can find in here. So it is running 4.4 Android. It does say that the processor type is Ultra Octa-core. Let's see if I can fix the zoom on that. There we go. So Ultra Octa-core. If I go into apps, the storage is weird on this. The internal storage, you can kind of see there, is 1.8 gigs, but there's like a built-in SD card somewhere, because this is the SD card. On SD card, there's no apps on the SD card. That's where it has 10 gigs free. So it has about 12 gigs free for you to work with. And then here's where we see our RAM. It has 1.3 gigs free of RAM, which is awesome because they advertise it as having 1 gig of RAM, but it actually has more. It probably has close to 2 gigs of RAM, but the other 0.7 is used for graphics. So that's dedicated to that. So internal storage is good. You get about 12 gigs out of the box to work with, which is fine, unless you start, putting a lot of music or videos or other things like that, and you're not actually streaming it, like a person in 2015 would do. But you can also use that expandable storage card. So storage is good for me. It could be better, but it is good because there's some tablets nowadays, like, iPads, for example. You can get a 16 gig iPad. That's a little ridiculous for, $300 to $500. You can get, the 64 gig version or the 32 or the 128, but, price goes up very quickly in that. And there's no expandable storage on iPads. This, you can just pop in a SD card real quick, and you're good to go. So, what else? I guess that's about it, I think. It's snappy. It's octa-core. It's, let me see if I can see what kind of processor. I can see what processor it has, but I don't know if I can see on here the actual CPU usage. Maybe not. I trust that there's an octa-core in this, just because of how snappy and nice it is going through some of the interfaces. So, with that being said, I'm going to use this tablet just about every day for the next month. I actually bought this. I don't have to give it back. I'll let you know about how it stands up in benchmarking. I know that from Geekbench it gave me a 1400, which I'm not sure how that stacks up to other tablets, but 1400 on Geekbench is not too bad. I'll let you know if it actually has an octa-core processor in it or not. I'll find out some other information like the GPU and other things like that if you're really tech savvy and you need to know that information. The display is not too impressive. The cameras aren't too impressive. The internal specs are wonderful. I'm glad it comes with 2 gigs of RAM. I'm glad it has probably an octa-core. Screen size is awesome. Price is awesome. There's not too much bezel over here for it to be annoying. And 10-inch tablets it's the new way to go. A 7-inch tablet's just too small nowadays. It's just snappy everywhere. Turns off quick, turns on quick. I can power it completely down in almost no time. The capacitive touchscreen is great if you're not looking through a camera and trying to use it. The screen viewing angles aren't fantastic, and the screen itself is not fantastic, but for $90, it can't be beat. It really can't, especially with all the accessories that they include. You can get a free case and a screen protector and a whole bunch of other stuff. And they give you, syncing cables. They don't have to include the, 1-foot micro USB cable. They don't have to include that, but they do. Came fast. Shipping is very fast. But yeah, I'll let you know about battery and other things like that. I'll stress test it. I'll play some big-time games on it and really give you the full rundown in another video. But hopefully this take works. Once again, this is the NeuTab N10 Plus 10-inch octa-core tablet for under $100. Let me know what you think. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Questions and comments, leave them in the section below. I will be around to answer them to the best of my abilities. And we will see you in the next one, guys. Thanks.